What are our favorite shows of 2019 so far? I'm so glad you asked. We're talking about that today.
JosharooTube.
Hi guys, welcome to JosharooTube. My name is Josh, and in case you didn't know, I had a perfectly normal life until a couple weeks ago when the craziest roommates in New York City all decided to move in with me. Last week, I came up with a list of rules that I thought might help all of us get along a little bit better. Didn't go very well. But today we don't have to worry about that because we are focusing on television, our favorite shows of 2019 so far. If there is one thing all of us have in common, it is that we love our Netflix and chill, or our Amazon Prime and chill, or our Hulu and chill. We do not discriminate. There will be no spoilers about any of the shows, just a little bit of opinion, a little bit of commentary. That's it. Before we even get started though, I would love to know what you are watching on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime. So let us know in a comment below what you're enjoying right now. First up is my favorite show of 2019, A Series of Unfortunate Events. Oh my God, I cannot say enough good things about this show. So I really loved the books growing up, and I was so excited when there was gonna be a movie coming out. Let's not hate on the movie. There's already been some hate on the movie. Let's stop hating on the movie. And then when they announced that there was gonna be a Netflix show, I was very excited. The series basically covers the trials and tribulations of the Baudelaire orphans, whose house was destroyed in a fire that killed their parents, and they basically get passed off from guardian to guardian as they try to find answers to the mystery of how their parents died, and also who they can trust in the world and who they can't. One very strong decision I think that the show makes is it cut each of the books into 2 episodes, except for the finale. So you really get a nice thorough examination of each of the individual stories that make up the entire series. The best thing about the show is that if you have read the books and you think you know what's coming, they threw in a few surprises along the way to kind of throw you a little bit. So there are some characters who get a little bit more screen time than they do in the books. There are completely new characters that you're not expecting. It is so much fun, and you actually geek out more watching the show if you have read the books. But that's another good thing about the show. Even if you haven't read the books, you can still enjoy it. I remember after watching the first season, I immediately wanted to go and reread the books. So for a show to be able to not only take its own inventive approach while still staying true to the source material and then make you want to go and read the books again, that is a special show. The Baudelaire orphans are making their way through life, and there are so many people who are trying to stop them, or they're getting in their way, and you're just like, oh my God, it's a series of unfortunate events. You know, there's all these unfortunate things happening, but it's so much fun to watch some of these other characters try to help the kids and watch the kids try to help each other, get out of these situations. Not to get too English class here, but it's such a great metaphor for life, because you don't really realize until you're an adult that there are going to be people who are standing in your way as you're on your path, but there's also going to be people, even if they're hard to find sometimes, who are there to help you along the way. Which brings me to another point. You can read the books as a kid and see one story, and then read the books as an adult or watch the show as an adult and see a totally different story. Everybody cast, I think, did a phenomenal job. I actually posted about it on Instagram because I was so overwhelmed when I watched the finale that I had to do a shout out. The finale of season 3 totally made me cry. There was a moment, can't even talk about it. I am so sad that Series of Unfortunate Events has come to an end, but I loved every second of it. If you haven't seen the show and you want something that's funny and quirky and satirical, but also totally makes you think, I highly recommend this show. So that is my favorite show so far of 2019. The show that I cannot stop watching is The Marvelous Mrs Maysles. I love this show so much. It's about a very sweet lady who is so funny, but they don't want her to perform on stage because she's a woman. It's so mean. But it's okay for her husband to be funny because he's a man's. It's so unfair. But then eventually she goes up to the microphone and she's so funny. Nobody can tell her to get off because she's so good. And then she makes everybody laugh all the time. The main actress, Rachel Brosnahan, is so good. I love everybody on the show. The whole cast is so marvelous. That's why it's called The Marvelous Mrs Maysles. And I just finished watching season 2's. Oh my shkaboobiness, that finale. Oh, that made my heart explode. The show just makes me so happy. And the music, oh my gosh, it's the music I listen to here all the time. It's all my favorite old hits. I love music from the past. And it's all over this show because the show takes place in the past. The show is not only funny, it's also very emotional. It is some of the best writing and acting and music and costumes and food I've ever seen in a show anywhere. I give it 2 big thumbs ups. I can't even wait for season 3. When is it coming out? Does anybody know when season 3 of Marvelous Mrs Maysles is coming out? Josh, why is nobody telling me? I love the way this show is filmed. It is filmed so beautifully. In season 2, they go all the way to Paris and they film in New York. How do they make these streets look like we're living in the 50s? I wish I was alive in the 50s. I bet the pound cake was insane. I want to beg for the entire cast and crews as a way to say thank yous. What do you mean they won't accept foods from strangers? My favorite episodes of season 2 were when they went to the Catskills. They were like in these beautiful forest areas. Oh, they looked like there were so many activities everywhere. Oh, so much yummy foods. Josh, could we take a roommate's trips to the Catskills? God. The only show I'd ever watch on TV is Grace and Frankie. I love that show so much. Those bitches know how to live, let me tell you. It's a wonderful premise, kittens. Grace and Frankie aren't quite friends, but their husbands are. In fact, they fall for each other. What? And then through a series of crazy events, Grace and Frankie become friends? Listen, if I got a best friend for every husband of mine that turned gay, oh my God, I'd be swimming in BFFs. You get the best of both worlds on this show. Grace is always drunk and Frankie's always high. It's fabulous. Grace and Frankie go on all kinds of adventures together. Oh my God, they go to nursing homes, they go to the beach. If I had $1 for every time I threw up on the beach, I'd be loaded. Grace has this amazing daughter, Brianna, who's a real ball buster. I really love her. I just finished season 5. What a treat. You know who makes an appearance this season? RuPaul. I love her. RuPaul's legs go on for like 18 miles. Girl, behave. Grace and Frankie live in this beautiful beach house that I'm pretty sure I've robbed before. There's also a fantastic episode where Jane Fonda's face is pulled even more than it already is. It's just fabulous. It's a very funny show, kittens, but also a bit dramatic. Kind of like when you're enjoying some Dairy Queen, but then that night, oops, diabetes. But there's a major concern this season, kittens. You start to wonder if Grace and Frankie are really gonna stay together forever. I have a sad feeling, kittens, that season 6 is gonna be the last, but I don't want it to be. I want Grace and Frankie to last forever. Oh, there's a gurgling noise in this bathroom that's really turning me on. Also, Jane Fonda, if you're watching this, hello. My favorite show so far this year is Titans. It reminds me of the one that I would write if I had the chance. It would be called Pirates. I love Titans. If there was more sword fighting, I think I'd love it even more. It's about these 4 superheroes who kind of find each other and have to fight off this force of darkness. So it starts off with Dick Grayson, aka Robin. Robin and Batman are having a huge fight. So Robin's like, I'm out of here. And then he meets this girl who's like possessed by a demon. They become friends. And then all of a sudden, there's this girl with this flaming pink hair and she's beaten everybody up. And then they meet a guy who could turn into a tiger. The show totally keeps you on the edge of your seat. I mean, I grew up watching cartoon Batman. What's interesting about this one is that you get to see Robin. And he doesn't even want to be Robin anymore. He's like transitioning into Nightwing, which is super fun to watch. What I love about the show is that it's very dark. I do like things that are dark, but at the same time, I like Fruit Loops. Starfire is the character with the pink hair. She is the fiercest thing I've ever seen. The show is very bingeable. I binged it in like a day. And I actually wanted more. I was like, don't end it there, mate. No. And also the villains on the show are like terrifying. There's like this evil family that comes into the story and this evil guy who has a weird egg obsession. I'm not talking about Floyd, I'm talking about the character on the show. I mean, Floyd has an egg obsession too, but this guy makes omelets all day long. A little bit bizarre. The action on the show is rather intense, so if you're like under the age of, I don't know, 15, 16, I maybe wouldn't watch it. If you don't like people getting kicked in the head and blood and tigers, you know, doing bad things to people, I wouldn't watch it. If you do enjoy those things, I would watch it. Now, I'm a huge Marvel fan, but Titans is a DC Universe show, and I love it. Now I just need a Green Lantern show. I need a Green Lantern film. I need Green Lantern to be in the Justice League movie. I still don't know why they didn't do that. Rude. I'd love to play Green Lantern. The only show you should be watching right now is season 4 of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That show is my jam. She was underground with a psycho and 3 other mole women for like 15 years. Do you have any idea how hard it is to convince somebody that you're sane after that? Just like, do you have any idea how hard it is to convince people that I am a mermicorn? You have no idea. I relate to Kimmy so much because she is so positive, and I'm all about positive energy. Plus, she has the greatest best friend, Titus Andromedon. He is so fabulous head to toe, and he is so flipping funny. In watching season 4 of Kimmy Schmidt, I was so sad to see it end because it's been such a part of my life. I feel like Kimmy and I would be like sisters. But what's so sweet about season 4 is that we find all of the characters kind of having their own ending. So many good things happen, and there's so many moments that like made me pee a little bit because they were so sweet. I like cried. It was really emotional up in here. I just think Kimmy Schmidt is like one of the most original shows ever put out there. Like the one-liners and the music and the colors and the characters, like it just all blended so seamlessly. Thank you, Tina Fey. The only bad thing I have to say about Kimmy Schmidt is that it's over. Like what the hell? It could have easily been on for 16 seasons, just like Grey's Anatomy. Actually, I think it's on like season 85. Like when is enough enough? How many people need to die in this world, and how many doctors need to come in and out of there named McDreamy, McSteamy, McBaby, McFlamey? Like enough. Desperate Housewives had 8 seasons. That was great. Kimmy Schmidt only gets 4, but Grey's Anatomy gets 113. I don't effing think so. There needs to be more shows out like Kimmy Schmidt because it is so positive, it is so enduring, and like it's set in New York, which is so fun because I like live here. I go outside and I'm like, I'm Kimmy Schmidt, you know, and people totally believe that I am. People are so gullible. There was this crazy episode this season where like you see where the characters could have gone had things not happened the way that they did. It was fascinating because just to see like where they could have wound up had things not gone exactly the way they did, just like in Sliding Doors starring Gwyneth Paltrow, it was just really interesting to see how like our actions create like a ripple effect and then totally changes the entire world. Like if I had gone back in time and been born like part rhino instead of part unicorn, how would things be different? Maybe Joanne would live in the sewer where she belongs. Do you know which character I'm not gonna miss? That creepy ass Reverend. Bye. Bye bye, John Hamm. You're such a creep. My favorite character is obviously Titus Andromedon, but I think him and Kimmy like basically get a tie. I also love Jacqueline, okay? She is so sassy. Any bitch who is sassy enough to walk into a place that is not her own office and start bossing people around, yas queen. I'm gonna miss you forever, Kimmy Schmidt. Come back, please. Just come back. Make a season 5.
And now for the show you've all been waiting for, The Punisher. Right away, I have to tell you, you can't tell Cheryl that I watched this show. It's rated R. If Cheryl knew I was watching this show, I'd be grounded for the rest of my life. That being said, it's awesome. There is so much blood and fighting and guts. It's crazy, man. It follows the really tragic story of this guy, Frank Castle, whose family was viciously murdered, and he decides to avenge their murders like an Avenger. I can't even wait for the new Avengers movie to come out. It's gonna be awesome. The Punisher is Marvel too, by the way. Marvel rules. Anytime you cross Frank Castle, you're gonna wish you didn't. Oh my god, the fighting on this show is insane. I secretly watched Daredevil too, and I thought that was intense. Whoa boy, I wasn't even ready for this one. In the second season, we meet so many new characters, which I thought was gonna be annoying, but it was actually really cool. They throw curveballs like grenades on this show. I liked season 2 of Punisher even better than season 1. Even though some of the characters this season were really creeping me out, like the main bad guy, oh my god, I wouldn't want to run into him in an alley. I don't even condone violence, but I think it's really impressive when they make it look so real. There's this really brutal fight halfway through the second season. We're talking brutal. It was so crazy, I almost had to look away. And then I thought Cheryl was coming home and I said, oh shit! And then I ducked for cover, but it was just Josh. And he like ran to his room. So strange. Anyway, the show is amazing. And that finale, holy crap! The show does a really good job of layering in backstory, but also adding lots of action. I would be wearing a shirt with a skull on it right now, but Cheryl wouldn't let me. She said that that's bad. And I said, you know what else is bad? But then I stopped myself, because I remembered I'm supposed to try to be nice to her. I'm working on it.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, leave us a little comment below, hit that subscribe button, and hit that little bell so that anytime Joanne actually gets out of the bathroom, you are the first to know about it. We're definitely gonna be doing more review type videos in the future, so if you have anything in particular that you think would be interesting for us to cover, let us know in a comment below. Like one time I went to the Chinese place downstairs and I was like, I'm a little girl and I have no money, and they gave me all of this food for free. And they said, what's the name for the order? And I said, Schmidt, Kimmy, and they wrote that down in the worst handwriting I've ever seen. But then I found out the reason why their handwriting was so bad is because they were watching Kimmy Schmidt while they were filling out my order. And I was like, it's okay that your handwriting sucks. You're watching Kimmy. Carry on. Give me my egg foo young now, please.